I spent years hating myself. Every scar on my body, every mistake etched into my soul, every face I couldn't save, it all weighed me down. Do you know what it feels like to wake up and see the person you were supposed to be staring back at you in the mirror? To hear your own mind whisper that you're not enough and never will be? I didn't need enemies. I was my own executioner. I thought strength meant never breaking, standing tall no matter what. But I was wrong. True strength is knowing you're broken and still moving forward. It took me too long to learn that. Too many battles, too many people lost, too many moments I can never get back. Now, all I have left are the echoes of my failures screaming in my head. I fought for people who didn't deserve it. I fought battles that weren't mine. I thought I could carry it all, but no one tells you that even the strongest back breaks when it's carrying too much. No one warns you that the hardest fights aren't fought with weapons. They're fought in silence, in the dark, when the world stops looking at you. Do you know what it's like to suffocate under your own thoughts, to carry guilt so heavy it feels like your ribs are breaking with every breath? I've cried alone in places no one will ever find, cried for the lives I ruined, for the love I pushed away, for the man I became. This ache, this pain, it doesn't go away. It digs into your chest and makes you wish for anything but another moment of this cursed existence. I hated the way I gave and gave until there was nothing left. How I let others define my worth. How I believed every word of doubt they threw at me. I hated the silence I filled with lies. You're fine. You're strong. But I wasn't. I wasn't fine. I wasn't strong. I didn't know if I'd ever make it through. But let me tell you something. There's power in self-hatred. It burns you alive, leaves you hollow. But if you survive it, if you make it through, it forges something unbreakable. I've learned to twist that hatred into something sharper than any blade, something that drives me forward when nothing else can. If I hated myself for what I've done, I'll be damned if I let myself hate me for giving up. I won't give that satisfaction to the ones who doubted me, who broke me, who left me to rot. They don't get to win. Not now, not ever. I'll rise, even if I have to crawl through my own despair to do it. They say warriors don't cry, but they're wrong. We cry. We weep for the battles lost, for the comrades who fell, for the parts of ourselves we'll never get back. But we don't stop. We don't quit. Maybe that's what makes us warriors. Not the fight, not the glory, but the refusal to let the darkness swallow us whole. I hated myself, but I'll be damned if I let that hatred define me. I am more than my scars, more than my failures, more than the endless nights spent drowning in regret. I am the sum of every battle I've fought, every wound I've endured, every tear I've shed. I am still here, and as long as I am, I will keep fighting. Not for them, not for glory, but for me. Call me weak, call me broken. I've heard it all before. But remember this, it's the broken ones who fight the hardest. It's the ones who've been to hell and back, who refuse to stay down. I am the shattered sword, reforged in the fire of my own pain, and I will not stop until I've carved my place in this unforgiving world. I hated myself, but now I dare to hope. Not because I believe I'm worthy, but because I refuse to let that hatred win. So, if you think I'm done, if you think I'll lie down and let the world bury me, you don't know a damn thing about what it means to be a warrior. Do you know what the worst part is? It wasn't the battles, the blood, or the betrayals. No, the worst part was looking at myself and not recognizing the man in the mirror. Somewhere along the way, I became a stranger. The fire that once burned bright in my chest dimmed until all that was left was ash. I used to believe I was destined for more, that my strength meant something. But life has a way of breaking you down, slowly, piece by piece, until you're staring at the fragments, wondering if you'll ever be whole again. And when you're at your lowest, when the world has taken everything from you, that's when it whispers the lies. You're nothing. You've failed. No one will remember you. And for the longest time, I believed them. God help me, I believed every word. I used to think hate would consume me, that it would be my undoing. But it wasn't the hate that almost destroyed me. It was the silence. Those moments after the battle when everything quiets down and I'm left alone with my thoughts. That's when the darkness creeps in. That's when the weight of everything I've lost threatens to drown me. Silence is a cruel enemy. It doesn't attack head-on. It seeps into the cracks, feeding on your doubts, your fears, your regrets. I've stood on the edge of that abyss more times than I care to admit. I've stared into it, and it stared back, offering peace, an end to the pain. But something always pulled me back. Maybe it was stubbornness, maybe it was rage, or maybe it was the faintest glimmer of hope, buried so deep I didn't even know it was there. Whatever it was, it kept me going, one step at a time, even when every part of me screamed to stop. Here's the truth I've learned. Pain doesn't go away. It doesn't fade. It doesn't lessen. It becomes a part of you. You carry it like a weight, chained to your soul. But you have a choice. You can let it drag you down, or you can use it. You can let it fuel you, drive you to become something greater than your pain, something stronger than your scars. I've made my choice. I'll carry this weight, not because I want to, but because I have to. If I let it break me, then everything I've fought for, everything I've lost, it all means nothing. And I won't let that happen. I won't let their sacrifices be in vain. I owe it to them, to myself, to rise again, no matter how many times I fall. They'll never understand, will they? The ones who've never known real pain, who've never felt the cold grip of despair. They'll look at me and see a warrior, a hero, maybe even a monster, but they'll never see the man behind the armor, the man holding it all together, with nothing but sheer willpower and the remnants of a broken heart. And that's fine. I don't need them to understand. My battle isn't for them. It's for me. I hated myself for so long, for all the things I couldn't change, for all the mistakes I couldn't undo. But I've come to realize something. Hate can be a weapon, but it can also be a shield. It kept me alive when nothing else could. It protected me when I was too weak to protect myself. And now I'm learning to let it go. Not because I've forgiven myself, but because I refuse to let it control me any longer. There's a fire inside me now, born from the ashes of everything I've lost. It's not a bright fire. It's dark, smoldering, relentless. It doesn't burn to illuminate. It burns to destroy. And I'll use it to carve a path through the darkness, to forge a new version of myself from the ruins of the old. Because here's the thing about warriors, we don't stay down, no matter how many times we're knocked to the ground. No matter how deep the wounds, we rise. Not because we're invincible, but because we're too damn stubborn to give up. We fight not because we're fearless, but because we know what's at stake if we don't. And if I have to crawl through hell itself to find my purpose again, so be it. I've made peace with my pain. I've made peace with my failures. And though I still hate the man I used to be, I'm fighting for the man I can become. This world doesn't give second chances. You have to take them. You have to claw your way out of the darkness, bleeding and broken, and demand your place in a world that's tried to forget you. Here I stand, not as the warrior I once was, but as something new, something forged in pain. in loss, in despair. I hated myself, but I'm still here. And as long as I breathe, I'll keep fighting. Not for redemption, not for glory, but for the simple, stubborn fact that I refuse to let the darkness win. Do you think I wanted this? Do you think I wanted to become the man who carries the weight of every soul he couldn't save? I never asked to be the one who outlives the people he loved, who walks through battlefields littered with the memories of better days. I never wanted to look down at my hands and see blood, my own, theirs, everyone's, staining my skin, no matter how many times I try to wash it away. But life doesn't care about what you want, does it? It takes, it tears, it drags you into the dirt and dares you to rise. And every time I stood, it came back harder, like it couldn't stand the idea of me surviving. But I did. I survived every hit, every loss, every time life tried to bury me. And I'll tell you why. Because I refused to stay down. Because as much as I hated myself, as much as I wanted to give up, there was always a spark inside me. Small, almost invisible, but it was there. And that spark was enough. I wasn't born strong. No one is. Strength isn't something you're given. It's something you earn, something you build, brick by painful brick. And the cost? The cost is everything you lose. People, pieces of yourself, dreams you once held close to your heart. In the end, all you have left is the fire that reminds you of everything you've lost and everything you still have to fight for. Do you know how many nights I've spent screaming into the silence, begging for answers that never came? How many times I've stared into the abyss, wondering if it would be easier to just let go? Too many. But every time, something inside me refused to let go. Maybe it was anger. Maybe it was stubbornness. Or maybe it was the ghost of the man I used to be whispering. Not yet. Not like this asterisk. I got up. Again and again and again. I got up, even when the world tried to break me. Even when the weight of my own self-loathing threatened to crush me. I got up and I kept fighting. Not because I thought I could win, but because I knew I couldn't live with myself if I didn't. And that's what it means to be a warrior. It's not about glory or honor. It's about standing back up when every bone in your body is screaming for you to stay down. It's about looking the darkness in the eye and saying, "You don't get to have me. Not today." I hated myself for so long, for all the things I couldn't change, for all the people I couldn't save. But I've come to understand that hate is a poison. If you let it, it will kill you from the inside out. So I made a choice. I chose to take that hate and use it, to let it fuel me, to remind me of what I've endured and what I'm capable of. Because if I've learned one thing, it's this. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. I still carry the scars, the ones you can see and the ones you can't. They're a part of me now, a reminder of where I've been and what I've survived. But they don't define me, they don't control me. I am more than my pain, more than my failures, more than the mistakes that haunt me. I am the fire that refuses to be extinguished, the storm that cannot be silenced. They'll call me broken, they'll call me mad. Let them. They don't know the battles I've fought, the hell I've endured. They don't know what it takes to stand when the world is determined to see you fall. But I know. I've lived it. I've breathed it. And I've come out the other side, no less a warrior. This is not the end of my story. The battles won't stop. The pain won't vanish. The road won't get easier. But I'll keep walking it anyway. Because if I've learned anything, it's that every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. And even if the world forgets my name, even if I leave nothing behind but whispers on the wind, I will know that I stood, that I fought, that I refused to break. And that is enough.